Hello, Ryan Garland. I am your host of The Paradigm Shift. I cannot wait to expose the true inner depths of institutional wealth building and how to dig deep into real estate investing. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Paradigm Shift. We have Eric and Lori here from the Gedalje Group, which is my exclusive brokers that list and sell all my projects. And for those of you that have been following us, you probably know he's one of my best friends too, even though Joe's over here to the right. So these are the three musketeers among us. But all right, so what I want to talk about, I think more importantly, would be, do you want to start with the first one in regards to the commissions and real estate, or would you want to talk about the Desert Storm first?
This is your show, man. I'm just happy to be here. I love you.
Let's talk about I love you more.
So, Ryan, you and I have talked a lot about, obviously the power of investing in real estate. And one of the reasons I decided to invest with you so much in Paradigm is because, number one, I believe in the product. But number two, I believe that real estate investing can be a vessel towards, securing your future. And, being in real estate, it's not like we get retirement plans, 401k plans. You kind of have to create your own long-term wealth. So I think that's what's so powerful about investing in real estate, but more so investing in a specific sector of real estate. And when you can, be with Paradigm, a company that's so strong and now with such a proven track record, I think it's a win-win. And that's why we have Lori here today. She's also kind of replicated some of those investments, and just kind of curious, Lori, what made you decide to invest in Paradigm?
Well, early on in my career in real estate here in Lake Havasu, I did identify the need for storage here. We're a town that loves toys. Clients don't have enough space, especially when you're working with them on the residential side. There's never enough garage for these people. So it became a big part of my business from the very beginning, initially helping clients to rent and buy a single unit. Eventually, as I was helping investors build their portfolios, I could see that this was a great place for my 1031K investors to drop some money. It's just a foolproof, easy to manage, excellent investment. They call it mailbox money. Bring them in, get them a group of 6 garages in a row. They rent so easily. The demand is tremendous. They don't call you because the garbage disposal broke. I mean, they move in. You don't hear from them for years. It's an amazing piece of your rental portfolio here. I've literally sold garages to family members, to investors, to really cherished clients because I do really believe in the product. They escalate in value. So if you do want to sell them later, you're always going to have made some money, but they're always a really good long-term piece of the portfolio as well. And so after having those successes with storage, I had the opportunity with Ryan here to actually invest in the project overall. And my confidence in him as an individual with the company really inspired me to say, you're working hard to earn those real estate commissions. You need to put some of that money to work for yourself. And so what a better place to do than to invest in Paradigm Storage and then actually bring buyers to the project to help recoup my investment.
Win-win.
So it's just all been a great opportunity and a win-win for everyone.
Yeah, I think one part you mentioned there about the 1031 exchange, I actually had a buyer that came from Indiana who acquired 7 units on his exchange. And between Ryan going above and beyond, he actually helped us help that owner rent all 7 units. I think we rented all 7 in less than 30 days. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I get inquiries all the time, from people, friends. Hey, I need to rent a unit, and they'll call me on the weekends right after they're done, playing all weekend with the boat. Right, I have nowhere to put my boat. Why didn't you plan this before you? People are so excited to buy your toys.
Yeah,
I think in some cases they forget that they need a place to store it. So I'm getting those calls all the time. So and I think due to the location, that's helped a lot too.
For sure.
So knowing that you got Walmart here, you got all your retail, you grab all your stuff. If you fly in, or a lot of people come in from the 40, right? So come in, stop, grab your stuff, and you're in town in 15 minutes. You're dropping your boat.
Definitely.
Another big benefit has really been, and it was great to partner with you early on as you were coming up and conceptualizing this project, is there are some real different features here from other products that are available in town, and this was a challenge. People really want climate controlled storage and insulated storage. And that opportunity really doesn't exist elsewhere in Havasu. So it's an easy thing to bring people to this choice because it really is different from what else is available. And this is what was missing and what the sector really wanted.
You know, I was isolating a couple big important components for myself was, you know, I looked at some of my toys as assets. You know, I think a lot of people, they look at boats, you know, boat stands for break out another 1,000. You know, I'm going to go spend a bunch of money. But it's really become, especially with the pandemic, it became a way of life, you know, because families were stuck in homes. It drove families together. They came out, they enjoyed themselves, and they realized like this is kind of the way I want to live the rest of my life. You know, spend time with family and be out and be a little more recreational driven.
Right.
But what I realized is the problems that I was having with my boats is having a good storage in it was several different things. One was power. Another one was just ease. Three, the width of the driveways, trying to park it on your own. Even though you're married or you have a spouse, they say they're going to help you spot you in park it. You never do. So I was like, you know, I'm just going to go a little wider. Yeah, I'm just going to go a little wider on the driveway, so whoever's back of that thing can do it on his own, him or her. And then it was really kind of how clean or how dusty a lot of your stuff gets. So if you don't cover your boat, within a couple of weeks, it's dirty again. So you wash it when you get it out of the water, and you got to wash it again before you put it in the water. So your cost to maintain your boat was going up. So I'm looking at it going, you know, what if I make sure we seal it right? Then it came down to the heat and not having insulated units all the way around. I mean, it was just destroying all kinds of different components in your boat. One being one of my center consoles, one of my boats, it's $6,000 for new batteries. And I had when I was storing it, I'm not going to drop the names where I was storing it before, they didn't have air conditioned units.
Yeah.
So I ended up going through 2 sets of batteries in 1 year because it was so hot in there. So imagine spending $12,000 just to maintain. And then on top of you come out here, you go to fire your boat, you're dropping it down in the water and it doesn't fire. And now you got to take the boat out, tell your family, sorry, we can't get on the water today. You know, people don't want to deal with that. They spend enough money on their toys. They just want them to work. So that was one thing that I wanted to implement was air conditioned temperature controlled units, but insulate it so you don't have to run these things all day long and your electric bill go up. And I looked at it from a cost perspective going, I think we can make this work if we save money here, but invest into the end buyer what they're looking for here. And I think we rolled the dice and played our cards right.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, we get that feedback all the time that, you know, number one, the aesthetics I think are far superior, but you know, the guts, the climate control, the insulation, people really appreciate that as the toys out here continue to evolve. And some feedback that I get too, Lori, from, you know, especially on the investor side, one reason they love investing specifically in Lake Havasu, coupled with Paradigm Storage, is the fact that our lake is a federally regulated waterway, which means that, you know, our water supplies Phoenix and LA, two of the biggest metropolitan cities in the country. They like that security of water. So, you know, with that, I think the confidence behind the investment is very strong with Paradigm just because of, you know, our lake situation. You see what's happening in Meade and Powell and the volatility there. People really see Lake Havasu as secure in regards to the water. You know,
I'm getting those questions all the time, as you can imagine, especially investors that don't know the area or haven't been coming out here their whole lives. You know, they're looking at it going, hey, we love the asset class of storage, and we see the brand, we see you're making it happen, but what about water? You know, they're looking at other aspects, which I think is very smart when you're doing your due diligence to get to understand the town and the layout of the culture and what does it really want to do? Is this what people want?
Yeah.
Not even from a data side, but more from like boots on the ground, ear to the ground. Do people want that? And so I've had a lot of those questions over the last handful of years. And some of the data that was talking about how this is it's not only a federally regulated, but how the water forms and comes down and how they're always going to keep this, what's it, 3 feet maybe?
5 feet, yeah, plus or minus.
Yeah, so, but how the water kind of flows, I thought was really impressive how they're like, out of all the body of water that comes through on the Colorado River, they will always make sure this is the number one most important piece of the entire Colorado River.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's awesome.
It's important.
It's very important for many different reasons.
Definitely.
But yeah, I thought that was great, you know.
Lori, you sold multiple units here at Paradigm. I'm just kind of curious, like what was some of the feedback? Like what drove your buyers here, you know, or maybe you drove them here for specific reasons, but what value do you think they saw?
Well, I think if you look back to a little bit to residential real estate and you look at the cost to add storage to your residence is pretty high.
Yeah.
So this becomes a really good alternative to that investment. So I think lack of space at their primary residence or cost of adding the garage makes this a very clear, good investment. I've had a lot of investors do it strictly for reasons not for storage, but just because it is a great rental property, and they know that it's demonstrated that it will grow in value. And back to the air conditioning, and another reason my clients really like the units is a man cave lifestyle. Doesn't bother me that the gentlemen have all built their man caves. So, when it's air conditioned and clean inside and a great environment, I find it's almost a social situation, and it's a place to go be where your toys are, work with your toys, talk to other toy-loving people, and you're with other boaters, other RV enthusiasts. Everybody kind of gets to know each other, and the men have a little place to go away from the house occasionally.
You'd be surprised how many women still come and enjoy it, too.
They do, too.
And they're buying units. It's impressive.
But it isn't just a place to drop the toy. It's a place to hang out. Yeah. It's a place to be with others. So that's why the good look of the complex and the insulation of the complex and the climate control makes that aspect something that's possible.
And it's two different hats, right? Like for me, it's investment, development, and then identifying what the end buyer is really wanting.
Sure.
That's where you guys come in, right? Because this is all you guys do. The number one agent group in the now it's with the state, but I know it's here for sure. But is it one or two in the state?
Today we're top 3 in the state.
Yeah, you're up there. So there's no better data than coming from you guys. So what I was listening to from a lot of the investors is, hey, I have an IRA. The entry point to get into to build my rental portfolio. This is great. Airbnb has some negative PR, and then a lot of people out here that have had a lot of Airbnbs are getting to a point where they're getting tired of the kind of the ruckus that Airbnbs come with. So I'm watching how people are 1031 exchanging out of those and investing into some of these. Yeah. Down to all of the, I'd say, nightmare landlord issues that happened during the pandemic, where people had rentals in California. They were unable to collect rent for many, many months. Thank goodness the appreciation of homes were there and they were able to maintain. But at the end of the day, when you get to a certain age, you're tired of dealing with the headache and the volatility. So a lot of 1031 exchange coming out of California, obviously they know the area, so they're rolling over into these. And then again, that ease of not having to maintain mailbox money. Yeah. You're not getting phone calls, air conditioning went out, this isn't working, need this. It's literally a box that generates good cash flow, and there's appreciation on the horizon as well as far as projections and growth in the area. Yeah. So people are going, I love that, because I don't have to buy another house, I don't have to go through another mortgage. I'm trying to go to retirement. They don't have as much cash flow, so maybe they won't retire or qualify for a mortgage for a step up on their basis, right? Therefore, with interest rates being what they are, so this is starting to be looked at as a great alternative asset that's very consistent, low maintenance, and a decent, healthy return that you can rely on. You don't have as much turnover like apartments. 1 year leases, 2 year leases turnover, then you got to go on and clean it, find a new tenant. You just don't have that much here. It's usually that tenant's here for a longer period of time.
It's commonly known that the length of stay.
4 years.
10 years I've seen. I mean,
they
buy the toy, they rent the garage. You don't hear from them for the next 10 years, and they hope that you don't make them leave. They want to stay.
Well, for the longest time, the demand here for rentals, it was a laundry list of
it's a wait list.
People looking for units that just didn't have enough on the market. So that demand speaks for itself there too, especially when I'm that guy. I try to use my experience to build something I know what people want. I remember I did the same thing. I bought a boat and didn't have a place to store it. So my wife and I are scrambling all weekend to try to find a place. We got lucky, but I could not believe if there's a waiting list of 100 people, 40 people, and I'm like, how long will this take? They're like, we can't really tell you because our turnover is so low. That was pretty impressive. It caught my attention.
One last thing that I think none of us really expected this. In Lake Havasu, you drive around and you see all these homes with the RV garage, right? And for those of you who haven't been, it's these big garages. Everyone's like, "Where's the house? I can't see it. It's just the garage." Well, by the time you get done putting your RV in the RV garage, and you have maybe one big utility vehicle and a regular car, you're out of space.
Mm-hmm.
And for Havasu, what we found is the people that are migrating here, that are retiring here, they want to live that Havasu lifestyle, which consists of more than just the RV. So for someone that, has been looking to get maybe that extra boat or that bigger boat that they've wanted, they're out of space. So a lot of people are actually just buying these RV storages, ironically, just for their RV so that they can open up their main house garage, for additional toys.
Oh, I got a good story for you. How many women are buying, these units out of their IRAs to get their husbands out of their garage?
Oh, yeah.
So they can get their garage back. Because I've had some women call me and go, I need to buy a unit so my husband can get all his stuff into there and I can have my garage back because I'm parking my car out in the heat kind of thing,
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're watching this and you're not alone, I mean, it's because you bought a house with an RV garage and you're out of storage is a very normal thing for Havasu.
Well, so how many boats do you have?
Me?
Yeah.
One.
You're looking at a second.
Oh, I was, yes.
Okay.
Really convincing.
You got a golf cart. You got a RZR.
A golf cart, a RZR, a large truck, a car, and then
you have a storage with another truck in it.
50-foot garage is not enough.
You just don't have enough.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, and because it's literally year-round activities out here.
Yeah.
You have people golf carts. They just have more and more toys, and it's getting. I mean, the toys are getting more fun too. People they get like really small boats just to cruise around the channel. Then you have your big boats for entertainment. And then you got your wakeboard boat. Then you got your jet skis. I go into some of these. I'm like, gosh, there's a guy in here that he has does off-road like Baja trucks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how he did it. I think he re-engineered it, but he ended up he has like bodies of his old off-road trucks up on the side of the walls. And
gosh.
I mean, people have so many random toys. Well, then with Tony, one of our favorite buyers in here, what a nice guy, but he restores old Harleys and old bikes and like World War II bikes and so forth, like really cool stuff.
Yeah.
But these guys, so you nailed it. It's all of these people come together and they're all like-minded people. They like the same stuff, but I mean, it's like a museum of like luxury cars, old cars, SEMA level trucks, big trucks, boats, RVs. I mean, It's like endless. All the toys that anybody could want, like right here within a 14-acre parcel.
Yeah, all the way down to your entry level pontoon. So, I think for anyone who's watching this, if you're looking to invest, obviously, we're prepared to help you there. But even if it's just toy overflow, you're not alone, and Paradigm Storage is here to offer that solution. So, if you are looking for a storage unit, look to Paradigm. You can always reach us on all of our socials, Paradigm Companies, Paradigm Storage, Ryan Garland, or myself, Eric Gedalje, or even Lori Cotero. We'd love to help you with all of your storage needs.
All right, so let's talk about Desert Storm.
Okay.
Okay, so
crazy.
Yeah, so
first of all, what is Desert Storm?
Okay, so I'll tell you my side of it because it's so close to my heart. Because I take my kids there every year. Basically, think of like an old town. For those of you that don't know, like old town, downtown, in any city that shuts down and has all these boats and cars and just kind of a street party for everybody who's in the city or likes to come out and enjoy and have their families come out, just kind of enjoy off-road cars and every boat that you could think of on tilt trailers and multi-million-dollar center consoles, and they have all kinds of other things there. People are selling their services, whether it's detailing or what have you. But I love going because not only do I see so many people that I know, but I love watching all of these people that I've known for 30 years growing their businesses, and then they have kids, and seeing how well this area is doing. But what was it, 250,000 people last year?
I was just going to say, think of a 2-mile block with standing room only.
Yeah.
And that's Desert Storm for you. People come from all over the world to see this amazing event. So I'm stoked for it.
Yeah, and so it's basically the same weekend as Desert Storm.
Yeah.
Desert Storm is known nationally. So this is, because this is one of the lakes that you don't have a speed limit on. So you have every boat, turbine boats. You got all the biggest, fastest boats in the world coming out here and ultimately seeing who's going to win and have the rights for that year until the next year, and someone comes and beats them. It's just all about speed at this point.
Yeah.
But it's great because you literally have people come out that have known Lake Havasu as this kind of gold mine of boating and outdoor recreational. So you have every aspect of that there, And so what we plan on doing is we're going to rent, I would say rent, but we're going to get a 125-foot slot downtown.
Keep in mind like the average space is 10 by 10.
Yeah. So we're doing 125 feet.
Wow.
So what we're going to do is which all of our projects, but I'm going to try to start from one. So golf simulator. So the same thing with Family Office Society, starting there. So Family Office Society, for those of you that don't know, that's our new headquarters, and we're listing it and naming it Family Office Society because it's one of the fastest growing marketing and networking trends in the world. You know, when I traveled to Dubai and throughout Europe, all that was family office networking, ultimately meaning, well, it doesn't matter whether you're wealthy, not wealthy, but anybody who cares about, financially modeling their future out, where wealth advisors, doctors, attorneys, business owners, it's basically a big network of people that come together. It's called the Family Office Network. We decided to move our headquarters here and named that building Family Office Society because we're going to open it up to allow people to come in and network and build their businesses and relationships out here. Since this is like a second home, everybody comes out here because this is where they really want to be in their heart. They love it here. They get away from the daily grind. They come out here and enjoy their lives. But how great would it be if you could come out here and enjoy your life and grow your business? That would be everybody's dream.
Clutch concept.
Right. So I'm like, let's build something where everybody would like. When it's really, really hot out here, you're not golfing. I know you're not. Well, maybe you are. You're kind of crazy.
I don't
golf
have
no matter what time
anymore.
it is.
120 degrees, I can't do it.
Yeah, that's why you got a year-round tan, though.
Oh.
but separate to your nationality, but it's okay. But anyway, so the golf simulators, we're gonna have 4 golf simulators in there. We're gonna have 4 Podium 1 race simulators, which are like the go-to. So Joe Rogan, all these guys are racing at 6:30 on Monday nights. They do race nights, and all these people from around the world jump in these things and they race each other. So it's like a grown man's like video game is what it is. Yeah. Flight simulators, all the cool stuff. But when it's really hot and you don't want to go out on the water or you can't golf, at least you can come practice your golf swing, right? But you're networking amongst friends too. And then, you want to race, and then you have offices so people can come in and work if they want to, meetings, what have you. You got your own conference room, 10 different offices. Yeah. And then you can rent it out if you want to have little corporate events or, Christmas parties or what have you. And so we're going to open that up it's very exclusive, but we're going to have that. So anyways, we're going to have a golf simulator. And like, have you ever seen those guys where they have, like they're in fifth wheels where they have a golf simulator and a fifth wheel and they come and travel to anywhere? Yeah. Okay. So we have one of those guys coming. Awesome. We're going to have this particular Podium 1 race simulator there. We have 4D renderings of the gym moving over to the barn caves.
This is all going to be on the street.
This is all on the street, and you guys are going to be on it. Cool. You guys have to be there. Can't miss this one. And Eric's like, I'm totally there.
Oh gosh.
But so moving over to barn caves, we're going to have the 4D renderings where you can actually take off the roof of the project and take a look inside the interior. And we're trying to match exactly what our renderings look like because that's ultimately what the finished work will look like. So we're going to have a 4D rendering of a barn cave because everybody wants to see these things.
Everybody's
and a 4D rendering of the gym. It was all the equipment, kind of where the pool and all that fun stuff. And then...
have you seen the photos of this pool at Barn Caves? It's Dubaian inspired.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I already have clients like lining up, asking me, when is the gym going to be open? How do I join? I know you're doing business with this guy. Like, tell me more. When's it coming? They love it. The demand is already.
So let me tell you the backstory on that one. I think you'll appreciate. So Kara and I was traveling a lot. And so Kara tries to come with me because that's like our date nights. Because when I was traveling so much, we really didn't chance to spend time together. So I'd say, hey, honey, I'm going to go here. You're coming with me this time, right?
Nice.
So we went to Dubai and I did business there, but when we were there, I might as well take an extra couple of days and go enjoy, right? So we went to this place and ultimately we got invited from a family office networking night out that we had. And the guy goes, hey, if you go, drop my name, here's my card, and they'll set you up. And I said, okay. And he's like, have you ever heard of this place? It's called Club Drift Beach Club. Drift Beach Club. I said, no. So it's right on the water. I mean, it's beautiful. And he said, it's the #1 pool in the world, right? And they've got their great salesmen out there. And I'm like, okay, I'll tell you if it's the #1 pool in the world, right? So Karen and I are like, let's go. So the next day we get there, and it was, beautiful. There's food. They have a restaurant on there. Now, we don't have that, but the design of the pool was so cool. And it had a huge patio that stepped up, and you had your own cabanas, and you had your chairs and so forth. But it was so low maintenance. I watched that's what I do. I look at everything, right? And I'm like, man, I can do this no problem at my own pool, my own private pool. This is awesome. So as we decided to go on the design of the gym here at the Barn Caves, I'm like, why don't we just do that, design that same mimic that same pool here? Because it's just a square pool. It just has a couple little carve outs, has some cool designs, some floor, and it's really simple. So it's not very expensive. And I'm like, but what great PR. So now you're like a Dubai experience pool right here, you know,
Amazing.
and I'm really going to mimic it so people can really feel what it's like to be there. Now, we don't have high rises and cranes or anywhere around us, but other than that, it's a pretty cool pool, you know. So we're bringing that. I think that got a lot of positive activity and energy. You know, a lot of people respond to that going, I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then what we did is we separated the gym from the residential because to manage the gym and if we didn't open it up to the public, and the pool would have been so expensive from an HOA side. So we separated that whole parcel from the residential just for income and you know, asset protection. And then our residents get access to that gym and the pool, but it's not on their HOAs.
Right.
Right. So
Perfect.
the income from the revenue from just, you know, whoever wants to become a part of the gym in the community will cover the maintenance of the gym. So therefore, why HOAs are low for the residents. So it's really smart, in my opinion.
Huge.
Yeah, you know, even though I do okay, I still don't like expensive HOAs.
No one does.
Nobody does.
Yeah.
So you got to try to focus on that. That was one of the key features that we implemented. But I got that idea was from Lifetime Fitness. By trade, Lifetime Fitness actually builds multifamily. So long story, and I won't go into it. But I kind of watched how they did it, and I was like, that'd be smart. So going back to the street party. So we're going to have the whole layout of the pool, the gym, inside the gym.
Wow.
Obviously a barn cave, which is key. A lot of people want to see those things. You guys can obviously build your list of buyers. Paradigm storage. Obviously, we can continue to, you know, build awareness for paradigm storage on sales. And then we have...
Yes, Mike Revley, if you're watching this, can you stop sending me emails with barn cave buyers? I mean, it's becoming a daily thing, bro.
I think I don't even know how much we have in our CRM now. The amount of people that are coming through our system that want these things, I'm like, don't even send that over to, because first of all, we're not far enough along. But two, don't send them over to Eric and the team yet because we're not far enough to sell it.
Yeah.
You know? But we'll just build them up. But yeah, we have, I would say we're north of 400 people
Crazy.
that want these units. You know, separate to the investors that have invested or locking up a unit. That's totally different.
So 125 feet of frontage on Main Street during the biggest event by far, Desert Storm. People will come and they'll get to hang out in the golf simulators, the race simulators. They'll get to see an actual 4D rendering of a barn cave.
And I'm going to make it even better. Ready?
Wow.
Here's the cherry on top.
Okay.
So we're going to have a truck and a really big flatbed trailer. They're like a gooseneck, so a big long trailer, 40-foot trailer. And we're going to put all of the equipment that we ordered, which is top-of-the-line equipment for this gym. That there's none of it is in the city that I've seen so far. And we're going to put it on the trailer so people can see the quality of the product that's going to be inside this gym.
There'll be a mini gym.
It's going to be a mini gym.
Mini gym.
It's going to be like...
Could people jump up and demo?
You could. What's the Muscle Beach out in Venice Beach?
Oh, yeah.
I put all of us out there working out.
Oh.
So wouldn't that be funny? We'll just get the little thin. We'll get the little thin things, or chesties. We're hanging out. We'll go work out. Get a pump. That'd be funny.
What are your thoughts on Desert Storm? I mean, you've been living in Havasu for so long. Like, what's your interpretation of the event?
Well, I look forward to it every year. I would say it is by far the number one event all year long.
Yeah.
Draws more people to Main Street on a single day than anything we do 365 days a year for sure. But when I do think of Desert Storm, I just think of that Thursday night, an amazing night on downtown. And you start at the top of the street, and when you look down, there's always a killer sunset going. It always turns out to be a beautiful night. It's kind of got that golden glow. And you just kind of look down from the top, and you can see this enormous crowd of people, a good crowd of people that you kind of want to go in and rub elbows with and hang out with because they're like-minded people. It's one of the reasons I moved here and I love doing business here is that people are in Havasu because they want to be here. They didn't move here for a job specifically. They didn't move here for a transfer. They moved here because they love it here. It makes it great to work in real estate here for sure, to do business here of any kind because we're a destination for people who love to play. They love the outdoors. I'm a big dog lover. Tons of dog lovers here because we're outdoorsy, happy-going people. So that night, I associate a really good night out on that night. Of course, the boats are amazing and spectacular, and it's fun to see them all. But it's more the event for me, even so than just seeing the boats that night. It's just a great night out and kicking off a really big weekend. I think what you have planned is going to kind of rival the excitement of seeing some of the boats.
Oh yeah,
There's going to be a crowd in front of
I
us.
think it's just because so many people know about the gym and just all because whether you just like storage or you just like the gym or you just like it's just we're kind of touching a lot larger community of people that want to get involved. But I think ultimately we're going to kind of showcase everything that's going on.
Yeah.
And I'm actually looking forward to the feedback because of the north side and everything happened with the pandemic and how fast it's growing and more people come in this direction. I really am interested to see the feedback from that because I think people are going to really go, all right, finally, because everybody actually loves the north side. When you get out here, people love it.
Oh yeah.
It's like, because it's the whole entire mall's here. What's there not to love? Now, if you had maybe more restaurants or what have you. So I'm really looking forward to getting some of that feedback.
Oh yeah. North side, lake side. It sounds like a gang, but it would be the best gang, I would say. No, but you know what you said earlier about like rivaling the boats. I mean, I completely agree. I could see chatter during that night. Hey, let's go down to the Paradigm booth and try out the golf simulator.
Oh yeah,
It's
oh
gonna
yeah,
be fun.
Ryan always leveling it up.
yeah, oh yeah.
That sounds amazing.
So and then even the race simulator. So we're thinking about if we open it up, it's $100 a race, but you can race and we'll even tell whoever wants to race. Let's say you want to do Willow Springs in a GT3 or an Audi R8 or the new vet, the new vet, the C8, whatever you want.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and then whoever wants to race, what we'll do is we'll then post whoever beat that last person's time.
Fun.
It's $100 a
Love it.
race. So people can come in and make a race, and we can kind of set the tone. And I mean, this is what you do. And in fact, with the Podium Ones, you have an app. So let's say some people became a part of the venue. You guys can all talk through the app on who's racing. So let's say you go in and you want to race me. I'll look at your race times. I'll race the same car with that, and I'll beat you. And you get notified on an app saying Ryan just beat you.
Wow.
Right?
So you're wanting to jump back in line.
Oh yeah. So you want to race? Yeah.
To get back on
It's
top.
totally. It's so much
To
fun.
bring Chuck out and see what kind of chops he's got.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Oh man, when it comes to men and driving, it's like, I'm a better driver.
My
It's always
husband's
one to
gonna be
one
all
up.
over this.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So the idea is to kind of show the overall culture and the atmosphere of all the things that we're building, and but I love what you said. I totally agree. It's not just it's just the people. I wanted to bring up too before I leave my train of thought. My father brought it up earlier, and I never really thought about it. When people really want to get away, they're willing to go beyond their means. Like, for example, when people go, I want to travel and I want to get away, they go out of the country, or they go to Hawaii. It's an undertaking. It's work to get to a place where you can actually decompress.
Sure.
And that's what I kind of realized about Lake Havasu is it is far enough off the grid that when you get here, you put in some work to get here. So you must love it. You have to love it because you have to put in work to get here. And that's what I really appreciated more about Havasu over time is that everybody that comes out here is because, whether they're now a lot of the conversations is politics. I'm tired of the politics. I want to be around like-minded people,
Right.
And that's becoming a bigger conversation piece. Down to I just like to be around people that understand boating and, and have the same problems I have and I keep buying more toys, that type of stuff. And that's what I really appreciate about Lake Havasu, and the affordability side too. It's not so expensive and, you can get if you just love the place, you can make it work,
I really love your concept. The first one that you talked about of making this a place, an opportunity to do some business networking.
Yes.
Because that was the dream for me, and it is for so many of my friends and clients. I wanted to figure out how am I going to leave Southern California, go live,
20 million people.
go live where I love to play, and still make a living, and still do business with high-minded business people who have a lot in common with me in that way, but who just love the chill aspect of Havasu as well.
Yeah. Yep.
So, so many of us have found a way to live here full-time, make a living here.
Couldn't imagine living anywhere else.
I know.
It's wild now. I was just talking to Jamie about it last night. I said, I love Havasu. There's something very special about this place, and I've come from Southern California, and it's hard to go from that to this. It really is. But once you're here long enough and you no traffic and the whole thing's like, oh my gosh, this is so much better.
It wasn't hard for me for like 1 second.
Sure. Yeah. You get to the point where when you're done, you're done.
The minute when we lived in California, the minute we would drive by the Arizona sign and we knew we were getting close, there's just something about your blood pressure would drop and you would start to decompress and you were so happy to be arriving. Then we'd be going the other direction and, you kind of hit the Cajon Pass and you're heading back in, taillights, the smog. And my husband and I would look at each other like, oh, we're so disappointed, that the weekend is over. And I would look at him and I finally just said, why do we keep going this direction? It's
Yeah.
always, we're disappointed.
Yep.
Like, let's make it happen. Let's just go where we want to be.
Growing up, my favorite thing, and then when I got my license and I was done, I've been coming out here forever, I always left at night because I remember driving on Desert Center, and I had a top at the time you could pull back with sunroofs, and you could pull back that sunroof, and the stars are unbelievable.
On fire.
It's unbelievable here.
You know, we even now we'll sit up at the house right, that you helped me get, which thank you by the way. But I sit there at night, I shut off all the lights, I put my head back in the spa, and I can count satellites. You ever seen them running by?
Yeah.
And so me and the kids will sit there. It's just there's something so special about it, you know, being out here.
It's funny. You guys are
unbelievable.
talking about all the amazing, majestic parts of Havasu. I'm thinking traffic over here. We were driving in LA a couple weeks ago. We were seeing some friends, and I just could not handle the traffic. You go to turn your signal on to change lanes, people speed up. Katie looks at me and she's like, there is literally no way you could handle living anywhere else besides Havasu.
It's unless you're just stuck in that grind and you know you don't see that, you don't experience anything else. Then that's the way you know. That's all you know. But once you get out and you start experiencing, that's why they say traveling is so much better to do than spend your money on material things. It's the experience. It's the mental, health that you get out of it. And it's so true. So out here, I mean, I feel more connected to my company. I'm not so stressed out. From all out of my marriage. I mean, the things just continue to get better and better. So it's really even the culture, the atmosphere. Then you start thinking about your kids, right? It's all the same thing.
And I find that Havasu attracts people with that overall mentality. And like my husband and I would always say, the boat was the best investment we ever made. And I mean, boats are not really great investments.
Right, got to get 1,000.
For us as a family, it was the best investment
Right.
we ever made because it was a lifestyle. It, inspired us to come here, spend family time together. It kept the kids wanting to be with us all of the time, and their friends wanted to be with us all the time. And it was just, it was the best thing that we ever did. The recreation and the family time and travel and experiences, and this was our favorite experience. So it's like, okay, time to make it permanent.
We have kids. It makes it a lot easier to do this.
Oh, yeah.
Load up. It's like a couple things. You got shorts and a t-shirt. You're ready to go. Flip flops.
And that doesn't even count all the amazing events. I mean, Havasu, is so event heavy. We just came off a weekend where the skies were filled with over 70 hot air balloons.
Yeah.
Hovering over the city in the water. And then here in a couple weeks, one of the biggest hot rod car shows in the world. Then we transitioned to a massive fireworks show where all the big vendors come and test their product. It's amazing.
You have car shows. You got boat shows.
Yeah.
Right? Formula One boats are here. You got jet ski events. You got dirt biking events. I mean, it's like it's.
But my favorite is Desert Storm, and what you have planned sounds unbelievable.
Yeah, so I think this is gonna be great. So what we want to do is, Joe's working on it right now. But the jersey that I wore in one of my videos?
I'm kind of upset.
We're trying to get everybody, including your guys' team, a jersey with Paradigm. We'll put the Gedalje Group wherever you want, and then you guys get your last name and whatever number you want on your own jersey.
I just don't want to wait until Desert Storm to get my jersey.
Well, we'll put an order right now. We can't promise anything because I think they come from China. It's like we can have an idea when they're here. But
no,
yeah,
you got to stop by the Paradigm booth for sure. The Desert Storm.
Absolutely.
Well, you guys are going to have your booth with ours, so we want your guys to use
Well, I'm telling the public I'm going to be a Paradigm, but I'm just
Let's
saying,
go, man.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, I think it's going to be cool. And then, we'll have the cars out there, and anybody else that we have friends with, they'll probably pull their cars out. Just kind of cool stuff that people haven't seen before. There's some really rare cars that people may have seen on pictures or magazines or the internet, and they've always wanted to see. And I'm starting to see some of these guys out here have these things.
Will the Aventador make it to Desert Storm?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Of course.
That's going to be big.
Yeah. And then the wide body Cullinan, which I think is like few in the country, And then there's a guy who has an old 68 Camaro. It's like SEMA level quality build. I want to have him come.
So my tri-tune probably isn't allowed.
Oh, no. We're just going to wash it. We're just going to wash it and we'll be good to go.
Fair enough.
Outboard 250 on that thing, man.
Yamaha.
Get going, baby.
Hey, I love it.
Okay.
It's
All right.
perfect.
So you ready to switch subjects?
Yeah.
All right. You present it to her, and then I'll fill the gaps. Or do you want me to do it?
I mean, I think this is your show. Let me hear.
Okay.
Let's hear you say it.
So I brought this to Eric, and we were talking about EXP and how EXP has a rev share model, right? And he gave me actual numbers. He's telling me what he's making, and I see all this stuff. And the one big conversation most people talk about when they get farther along in their careers in real estate sales, or even as a loan officer, it doesn't matter. You're only, if you, let's just say you're, single or sole provider, even you have a husband-wife team, the only retirement option you have is real estate investing, right? And buying real rentals and start building your portfolio and your rental in your future. And most agents are unable to get to a point where they make enough in the commission to have a chunk to either buy a house and then maybe get their life started, but really are unable then to make enough to then go buy a second house and flip properties. Or if they do, it takes them years in their career before they get there. And I was working with another group in Orange County that we were teaming up with, and this was a while ago, and we had a really, really cool idea. And he was trying to build a rev share model. Instead of EXP as EXP as public, this was going to stay private. What he was trying to do was kind of a private equity structured real estate firm where he had all these different businesses that pushed into a holding company. That holding company had a rev share model where the agents are under that. So whether you're selling construction management or a flip and it was all under the umbrella, the agents were getting something out of it because it's all going to this one company. I thought it was okay, but I thought it was too many moving pieces to it. So I said, well, why don't you do something a little bit different? And so let's say you have your splits with your broker, right? Whether it's an 80-20, 60-40, whatever that number is. You got to take a little bit to make sure you keep the lights on in the office and so forth. But instead of, and this is what this broker and I kind of came up with, and he thought it was a great idea as well. Instead of taking that money, now let me back into this. This broker did not need his agents. He just, it was at a point in his career he wanted to build a brand and his own production. He did fine on his own production. And that's Eric. So that's why I brought it to his attention. I said, hey, your agents, why don't we do this? Imagine taking the commission split that goes to the house, take that split and put it into an investment into real estate. And what I would do is I'd say, hey, how about this? Let's use Paradigm Storage as an example. If I went to Eric and I said, Eric, I know you're going to invest, he obviously has. But why don't I give you an equity sliver as well? So that you give a portion of my profit. Your real estate agents now can start building a retirement plan where you take the profit split that you would be taking, put it into a retirement plan and have them make the investment into Paradigm Storage. And now they can start building, in essence, a little IRA or a retirement plan for themselves. And then he's making up for the loss up front, but making the profit from my side for him. But now he can start building the brand for the Gedalje Group more and more, because now these agents aren't just throwing the money away from the split. Not saying they aren't, because you get certain amenities, right? Help and support in the name and the brand. But that money is actually going to their future. And that's something that we thought would be a pretty cool idea.
That is an excellent idea, because I would love to see it if more people on our team and more agents in town were really taking advantage and using part of their income to build a long-term future. Because I do tell Eric the same thing he said earlier. I can't be showing houses when I'm 80. He thinks I'm going to be, but I think I'm probably not.
I knew I shouldn't have said that.
You knew it, because that's what I say.
It's probably because you guys had a conversation about this.
Don't think I'm doing this when I'm 80.
It was a figure of speech.
But Eric has really inspired me, and the learnings that I've had from real estate, and I have diversified, and I have been funding some specs and investing in a sixplex and a duplex and in Paradigm, and taking everything I'm learning from the industry and some of the money it's allowed me to earn and putting it back into my future, because we don't have a 401k here or a retirement plan. And I've never worked in an industry where I've had a lot of that available to me. So I've been fortunate that I've had a really good mentor and inspiration, and that I've had the financial ability to do it. But I would love to see a program where every agent could jump in, and they could start it younger. I mean, my grandson's on our real estate team. He would be all over this. He's all about learning to invest and having something to do. And, even at his income level at this point, he could participate. And
that's the point. It doesn't matter where you are. Everybody, that split is going to the house no matter what. Wow. But to put it aside, that goes into an investment for you, and you can, the strategies go on. You can open up an IRA. You can go through an IRA and you're custodian that way. You don't have to worry about paying taxes until you pull it personally, right? Just roll that money in over and over. From that side down to, from an educational side, how many agents come in going, I'm already thinking about the future. Most agents come in here going like, I need to hunt to eat right now, And if they're already being presented with a group that also does tons of investments, the likelihood of their success and actually building a true future and retirement cash flow for themselves hops up, because let's be honest, how many other real estate groups are really in the investment sector like your group? Not that many. And this is common more here than it is in other states, for sure. I promise you that. If you go to Nashville, you go to California, there's only maybe the broker does some fix and flips, but not to the level you guys are playing. So if you have agents that come in here, you have a much more sophisticated broker group that is not, the real estate sales is great, and you love the service, and it's the connection that you get with everybody, but you're not only helping people build their future and their investments by helping them acquire and put their families in homes, but you're doing the same thing for yourself. It's an equally yoked transaction, and I love that. I think that would be an absolute
just to put it,
game changer.
Yeah, putting it in perspective. I think there aren't very many people out there that know about money market accounts, high interest, yielding accounts. So I actually helped 5 agents on our team create their first money market account that they were, they're earning 4 or 5% interest. Some, that ranging from an extra $100 to $500 a month, and everyone absorbed it like a sponge. Everyone executed. So it's nice to be surrounded amongst individuals that are cognizant and find it important to think of ways to start building for their future.
Yeah.
Because the income in our industry is a little, sometimes, you get a commission check here, you might get 3 here, but then you go 4 weeks and you don't get anything. Just depends on like what kind of business you're doing. But this is a vessel that could help secure a future long-term, instead of just, you get your check and maybe you spend, your mortgage, your bills, your utilities, all that stuff. This kind of is maybe like a vessel to help save more long term, which I think is huge.
Well, let's touch on just kind of the nature of real estate, right? Let's actually go into the weeds we talked about today.
Yeah.
The average real estate agent, right? If let's say it's their sole income source, they'll have a nice little run. They'll catch up. They'll make some money, but then you'll have some down debt months and so forth. And it's just this constant roller coaster of anxiety,
right?
But what happens is you play catch up. So you have a couple good months, you kind of reposition yourself. You're catching up on some bills that need to be paid, credit card bills, updating your car if you need a new car, whatever it is. But then you get back up here, now your income, now your nut is here, right? And then you have a good run, and it just dips and falls. So you're constantly playing catch up. So I know that because I was there.
It's a stressful way to live.
It's a very stressful way, especially now you put on marriage and your kids, and now you're the sole provider, what have you. It's very stressful. So you have to start learning how to plan for those downtimes.
It's kind of the American way, is
it
you
is.
really get to know people and their finances. It's how America's living.
Yeah, it really is.
Check to check and stressed out.
Well, and from doing mortgages, I'm literally seeing. I know everything about these people for the most part. One time, so I really got an understanding of kind of the culture of making money, especially if you're a business owner. And that's the majority of agents. They may be able to build a little bit of a nest egg, but it can be gone like that. You get sick, and as you get older, you start realizing this money just keeps going, right? So I looked at it going, that's probably 90% of these agents. I think if we were to figure out a way to help them identify, better investments, better places to spend their time. You are who you hang out with. Be a better part of be a part of a group that can actually elevate you. Doesn't need you. They're wanting to give to you. They're not taking from you.
Yeah.
And once you're elevated to that, people are going to look at you and go, this guy really, or this team really is helping everybody grow. And you guys already have your own investments and doing your things, and now it becomes a completely different wealth in your heart. You're helping so many people.
Yeah.
And that's why I thought. To implement stuff like that for agents, I think would be a win-win across.
Totally. And I think it creates stimulation. It makes you feel like you're growing as an individual. You're creating, wealth for your future. There's nothing worse than turning 65 and it's like, okay, what do I do for income now? Like, where's my retirement?
Yep.
So.
So like, even if you put let's just say $5,000 away this month, maybe in a couple transactions that you had over time, you got 100,000 that went out. That 100,000 is going to keep growing because every time you're closing a deal, you just keep adding to it.
Yeah.
And you're generating interest on that money to put aside. And then over time, you start looking and go, well, man, I've invested a lot of principal and I've had some turnover. I've had some returns. Gosh, in 5, 6 years, 7 years time, you have $500,000.
That's why I always recommend, like, even when I was pushing you to start doing some investments, like, everyone can start small. You don't, there's a misconception out there that you do in your investment and you only want to invest a big amount so you can make a big amount. I like starting small, building that confidence, and then you can go bigger from there. And now look at, some of the investments we're doing.
That's what that was really, so let's be honest. When I expanded the company on the crowdfunding side and started developing our own projects, my network wasn't, a bunch of high net worth clients. I had a handful of them, obviously, but once they put their money out, now what, right? So you need to continue to grow my business. So I had to come up with ways to be able to continue to solicit to raise capital. So we went down the Regulation A road, where the 90% of operators like me will go and open up a fund that's only for accredited investors. You have to be wealthy to invest. So you knit it. With the way we're structured, it doesn't matter. You don't have to be wealthy. There's just a minimum, $1,000, $2,500. We did that on purpose because I knew that the majority of my network and how I was raised, a single family in law enforcement. I had a single father. So I didn't go without, but we didn't have a lot, and he definitely wasn't accredited. So, he had to figure out ways to grow his wealth. When you see all the little investments over time, now he got to where he is today because he just started a long time ago, driving the same car for 25 years to work and not buying new cars. Like just those type of commitments, which I believe was a good investment for him.
Yeah.
He didn't burn his money. He started putting his money in his 401k and I was putting more money in that. So he started making those little changes long time ago. But now I look at him and go, man, you're like a little king. You're doing your thing, and that's the point. Everybody sees that's where they want to be, but they're fearful that they have to have big numbers to start playing with, and you're right, they don't. So those small investments are totally right in line.
But it's one tip that I love to give out, like, hey, if you're going to make your first investment, is it $2,500 or $5,000? Like, be realistic about the return. Like, it's not, hey, I'm going to invest $5, but I've got to make $5. Well, to put that in perspective, too, that's 100% return. That's a little crazy. So be realistic about what, if you're investing a small amount, your return's probably not going to be that much, but that's okay. That's how you start. That's how you build confidence. But that's one frustration that I have is I just, it's a small investment and they expect returns to be huge. You have to build up your nest egg so you can invest larger to gain a larger return.
Well, so it's the same concept as this. I mean, you called me, you made one investment, you called me and go, I want to put some more in. That's so common. Not 75% of our investors reinvest. So, or continue to allocate into multiple projects and diversify for risk and so forth. But when you look at that, people, that's what's going to happen. You make an investment, you see some growth, cool, a lot of stress, it feels more consistent, timing with the economy and just overall, it feels right. You're just going to go, you know what, I have a little bit more, I'm going to contribute a little bit more. And when you get into that rhythm of trying to live lean, and then you're continuing to contribute to your future, you're going to be very well positioned, faster than you thought you would.
It's great for realtors, but I think even beyond that, the point of all this is what are you doing? You're diversifying. And whether you're a nurse or whether you're retired, whether you're on a trust fund, whatever it is, if you have, a savings that you've worked so hard to build, now make an investment to the point where that money works for you and creates an additional stream. That's the key.
That's exactly the key.
I really love what you said about your dad, and it's something that I really admire about my father as well. And I think the generation did have this right. They really did live under their means. I mean, the American way right now is like, to spend so much and have so much, but they really knew how to live within and under their means so that they were putting that little bit away so that they could get started. And I know Eric kind of inspires the team and others around him when he speaks to do the same. Like, don't live so large that you're not putting anything away. Because if you scale that back, you will get a little bit. You can start small and go from there. But, if you've bought a car that you really can't afford and you're living in a house you have no business living in, you're never going to get there. You're never going to get there.
I was thinking, there's a little data that I grabbed a long time ago. Now, here it's a little bit different. You have more retirement here. But let's just kind of think about it with your guys' level of experience. How many people do you know that are going for financing and they're max financing to get the biggest house? Right? Their debt to income ratio is maxed compared to like, hey, you know what? I just need 100,000 against it. I need the write off. I have 900,000 over. Now you guys have that because this is more the retirement community. That's what people want. They want to lower the overhead. But ultimately, that's not the case. I'd say 95% are maxing out to their debt to income ratio to get the best or biggest or nicest house they can. they're not looking at things differently.
It's tough.
Where if you look at other
see it
cultures,
too.
oh yeah, it's constant. But as a loan officer, it's coming across your desk all day, every day.
Yeah.
And then you start looking at, when you start traveling and you start seeing other cultures and how they live, they still own all this stuff cash. Chinese, for example, they don't really like to finance. You go to, if you respectfully look at the Muslim culture, they don't do interest. The list goes on and all the different ways of living life. But if you see how most people operate, they're gonna go do that. They're gonna max themselves out.
Yeah.
But you're gonna get to a point in life where you're tired of maxing yourself out. Imagine if look, we got you, but if you just slow down a little bit and throw a little bit away, you can have that cash. Now imagine you can have 2 of them now, kind of thing. And that's where I think people are starting to get it. There's a lot of data supporting how millennials, Gen Z, are actually investing earlier in stage of life than the baby boomers did. I think the boomers, it's just a different world. Yeah, I think it's coming up, whole baby boomer concept, you come from war, drop your bag, have 6 kids kind of thing, right? That's the way it was. It's wife picket fence and 6 kids, man,
Oh, it's really
I went 4 boys and 2 girls. It was 4 boys, 2 girls, and it was that. And that both sides of my family had that. 4 boys and 2 girls. So it was pretty funny. I think also coming from when you looked at the economy at that time, they were W-2 employees. They just needed the job. They wanted to put food on the table and take care of the family. Now it's lifestyle. People are chasing the cars like I do. People are doing all that type of stuff. And so the world's changed so much, but people are going, hey, look, they're getting smarter. They're like, I can buy that car with the cash flow I invested over here. That's happening now. So that shift between I can actually have more because they're learning the investment structure. I can have all the things I want if I start investing earlier on, or I make this investment and that pays for the cash flow for this. Like it's actually happening. We're seeing it. That's why crypto's perfect example.
If you do it right, your investments can create a life for you where you have 0 expenses. And I would say, like, if you're looking to make your first investment, I'm not saying do something because your friend's doing it. Look at the type of people that have invested in your project. My mom, my clients, your network. Like, look at those people that have invested, and it's probably something you want to follow suit on. Look at the quality of investors that are going into it. If you're weighing a decision, like, holy crap, few people that kind of know what they're doing and talking about are in it, this is probably a smart thing to do.
Oh yeah, we have
There's scams out there. There's a lot of crap out there. I've heard stories where someone got a text and they invested $5,000 in a crypto scam. And,
I get that all the time. Tiffany, the girl that runs, she's our relationships manager. She just got burned for $100,000 through, and it was like I forgot what it was, but it was something like that. And her and her husband, here's the problem was, I don't mean to air their stuff, but this is what it's very common. This investment company says, hey, come over here and get a 0% interest for 1 year line of credit. Get this $100,000, invest that $100,000, and you can make 50% return, whatever it is. And then that company takes their money and dries out, and they're still stuck with paying that $100,000 line of credit, and interest comes due in a year. Like that was very common. That was I don't even know how that's legal.
If you're looking to invest, I couldn't think of a better brand than Paradigm, with the proven track record, quality brand, amazing marketing, over 50% sold out on the inaugural project here at Lake Havasu.
Above original projections. Remember, we were thinking 145 a foot. We're at 175 plus a foot.
Yes.
The margins are nice. They're pretty.
Yeah.
Let's make it up for the Dennis, our GC slow. But I'm kidding. I'm hoping he watches this. He's like, dude, I'm not. It's not my fault. But
great way to
see the difference in the margin. But that tells you it's the same concept. Doing your homework, being conservative, getting involved into something bringing the top players in the area and put them on the top, put them on the board, man. You gotta ears to ground. That's where the data really is. If you're not bringing in the right people in the right group and the sophistication, you're not going to be successful. But again, that's just a testament to the area's growth and desire and demand. That's why phase 1. Hey, Ryan, can we live in these units? No, we can't. Sorry. I won't say. No, you cannot stay there on the weekend, But then you have the people that are like, man, if I could just have a little house and a crash pad, they're like, yeah, that'd be great, right? Well, maybe we can do single family. but I had to go to a certain size of single family living space because the city wasn't going to approve anything that looked like storage at all. So we're like, okay, we're going to go full blown single family, detached with more living space than garage space kind of thing, and it's doing good, a lot of energy. But man, we just, Pine Street's a 3-story product. Denver is a 3-story product. That was pitched roofs with a 2-car garage through an alley and a bedroom, bathroom downstairs. You went up to the 2nd floor, all your living space, 3rd floor, master suite. Same thing we're doing here, just no one's done it.
Yeah.
And we're just making it more of a barn dominium, trendy, big garage, which is really the cool thing. We got a barn dominium with an elevator. I'm trying to switch up. Barn dominium, you got a pitched roof with an elevator, 26-foot, vaulted ceiling on the 2nd floor. And then you have a huge man cave that's a drive-through. Like, who doesn't want that?
Everything you need.
I mean, geez, it's like everything you want.
I mean, yeah. So, like, if you're looking to figure out a way to, secure your retirement, set up a retirement fund, I just couldn't think of a better brand than Paradigm.
Yeah, and that's what I think from a real estate agent side, their knowledge is huge of what they already know about real estate. So if you had some sort of vehicle for them to invest into, their commit a portion of their commission type of thing, then, and they know it, they can comp it themselves. They can do their own homework. They could literally get in the trenches and start doing their analysis on if this is a good investment for them and know what they're getting themselves into.
Definitely.
There's nothing better than that.
And it's cool too. Like, there's a lot of these, there's some one-man shows out there for developers. It's so much easier. No, I shouldn't say easier, but I feel so confident working for you because, like, again, this ties into the investors that are weighing their options, like, who they want to invest with. You have a marketing team. You have an incredible back office support. You have people that are monitoring, all the web pages. I just don't know if it gets better than that as far as, like, anyone that's looking to invest.
Eric, just to be honest, I've always wanted to bring somebody else to be more of the face of the company, do more of the marketing side. It just hasn't worked. I haven't found anybody to be able to pitch the brand properly. So I'm going to be the best person, right?
Yep.
So I stayed there. But what I want to make sure that I publicly tell everybody that watches this is that it's the team. It's not just me. I am the visionary. By the way, my whole company is ran by women. They hold me down, make sure, and they're smarter than men are. I promise you, the women really are smarter than men. But I'm making good decisions and good investments in the right people. I'm very blessed. But I think what it is it really is the team. Everyone sees Paradigm and they see me because I'm so heavy on social media. But it really is my team. If you just dissect it and you looked at Brianna for an example, my controller, she was overseeing all of the billing and HR for $1 billion electrical company out of California. And then she's had a lot of other jobs, but she was overseeing budgets and payroll and audits and all. So this is small. All what we have going on, like, you got a lot going on. I'm like, yeah, but my team can handle more. So the infrastructure is there. If you look at Rev, Wall Street guy, 2 asset management companies, sold them for $600 million, took a company public out of Australia in 2008, brought them into the US, did a whole manufacturing private equity roll up, sold it. Aviation guy, the sophistication of the people that we have overall is really where it's at, because I can't do it all. And when it comes to certain compliance, we're growing at a pace. You got to have compliance enforcement. You got to have the right attorneys. So everything that you see go on is really a testament to the people that are all behind the scenes. It's not just me.
We meet this morning at 9 a.m. and Diesel and I, fire out 3 videos: a marketing video for e-building, our new sales video, Desert Storm trailers coming up. So it's just like, and all that content will release. Like, the execution is there. Mandy is there to fill in, all the gaps. You've got Rev, sending us barn cave buyers every single day. It's a well-oiled machine.
Well, you're going to love this even more. Have you met Josh yet?
I don't think
my
so.
project. So
he's great.
He's what we call our financial project manager. So he's got a vast amount of knowledge. He built one of the most. He just got beat, by the way. It was $41.9 million in Park City, but he builds high-end homes. He built a lot of commercial. He just worked for a lot of really wealthy families and was their buyer's rep and started building projects, managing their real estate portfolios. Anyway, so I brought him on, and this is why I'm saying this with love. And if anybody watches this and you know me, you'll laugh. I'm so good at picking the right people at some places. He's the best Jewish financial manager you'll ever meet when it comes to construction, because he is one of those guys. He's my favorite Jew. Because
You're here.
he's my favorite Jew besides you.
I guess I'm not his favorite.
Hey, what's going on there?
And he says, well, hold on. I'd say it's equally beneficial. You give me a lot of money and make me money. He's saving me a lot of money.
We'll take it.
See, it's good.
Another reason to invest in Paradigm.
I got all these Jews around. Let's do it.
Really, what you're speaking to, though, goes back to something that I think almost everybody's told, while you're growing up. It's really important who you surround yourself with.
Yeah.
And there's really no more truth to it. You tell it to your teenagers, your parents tell it to you. But you're a visionary and you bring leadership, but it is about who you surround yourself with. And I think that's worked for Eric as well in his business. It's like you can have the vision and you can provide the leadership, but you can't do everything. And it's all about who do you build around you and who do you surround yourself with that's going to take you to the next step.
And then, not to going too far into the psychology, you have to have people that are truly bought in. It's not about the money. You got to make sure they're taken care of and that they're happy and they have an option. They have an ability to see a future for themselves and build a retirement plan for themselves. Yes. But it's when everyone is so invested emotionally, has worked so hard, then it's like, I'm going to keep investing that same energy because we have to see it work. Down to, it's this, we all have this mission. We talked about it. We worked on it. We're so calculated. Everyone has their roles. It's just time management is a big deal, right? And it's just the best feeling is it feels like I have a little military of people that all want the same thing to happen, build and sell. And then you have different departments. You have my construction department. They are focused on budgeting, timelines. I mean, it's like we're implementing practices, software, systems, just better in there. So bringing on more people, whatever. And it's just, but what's happening is the energy is all the same. So you bring somebody else on, they're not going to make it if they don't fit in this energy ball.
Yeah.
If they're not sophisticated, they're not self-performers, they don't have a lot of experience, they can lie to us all they want. We'll find out pretty quickly, but they just won't make it, And that's what we've seen is as we continue to bolt on and those type of people, equally yoked people pull together, you have to be like the team. Otherwise, you're just not going to make it.
Yeah.
100%.
And it's 100%. I tell everybody this, I'll end it with this. And I use this as probably a perfect example. When you look at everything that's gone on politically over the last, let's call it a year, I feel like every time you wake up and you watch the news, like they're moving mountains every day. Like the amount of stuff that's being done every day on both sides of the aisle, if you will, it's unbelievable. And that's really the idea of saying that's how fast the world's moving. And if you're not moving at that speed, you're going to fall behind. So my team every day, obviously politics have a direct effect on which direction this company is going to go. My entire team, we're communicating text messages, we're seeing this stuff. So we have to be just as proactive as the way the world's moving. So that goes down to, if we see it, now our trades and our subcontractors need to move at that pace. We need to start pushing them. So it's really pretty cool. So from an executive level, we're all on the same page going, okay, we need to push our downline. It's pretty impressive, right? Yeah. The energy that you've seen shift when you start taking on more projects and money doesn't sleep and people want to make their money. Yeah,
but you've created such an amazing culture that everyone wants to give 110%. Yeah. I mean, last night, for example, you took your top 10 with you, a little appreciation dinner. Like you have architects there, builder there,
Civil.
Diesel, our marketing boy, he's the man, he's my favorite in your company.
I'm going to put on Amanda. So Amanda, every time I tell everybody, when you see Amanda here, that means we're here to work. Because Amanda's my workhorse. 6 kids, all her oldest kid is coming out of the house now. So she had all this energy. She's like, well, I tell the story. I don't know if you've ever heard this. I tell the story about Amanda. It was one of our first or second conference calls we had with her. And so all of a sudden, her camera goes off, something like a Zoom, and she thought that the microphone was off, and all of a sudden you hear boom. So she's in Nashville. She shot a deer from her front porch while she's on a conference call with us, and she didn't have it on mute, and we all heard it. And we're like, what happened? Did someone just get shot? Like, was that a gunshot? Woman. And she gets on. She's like, I just got him. She was so excited, like a little kid. We're like, what'd you do? She's like, I shot a deer from my front porch. And we're like, on a conference call? Oh, man, dude, my team is so funny, man. But Amanda, she's our workhorse. She comes in. I tell people, hey, we're coming back to Havasu. I have Amanda with me. Everyone's like, okay, it's work time. You know, she's a grinder, man. She
And
gets
just
stuff done.
all those quality marketing videos that have helped the public find out about Paradigm Storage, purchase storage units. That's all Diesel, man. He puts together some great stuff.
Yeah, he just needs to speed up his editing. Sorry, Joe.
No,
Something like that, Joe.
let me get a cake.
Yeah, let's do another cake smash.
No, and I'm just grateful for the opportunity to invest. Definitely, I wouldn't invest
as well.
anywhere else.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely.
You guys, and by the way, I feel like family from the day one. I mean, I called your daughter, your wife, which is pregnant, so congratulations publicly. We get to tell everybody. And how many people do you have now on your team that's pregnant?
5,
Oh my goodness.
5 or 6.
6.
6.
Someone else just got pregnant.
4 of which are due in May.
Who's the other 2?
We have Carlene and
Jess's wife.
and Chloe and Jess, Lacey and Katie. 6.
6 are pregnant. That is so cool.
All due in about a 90-day window.
We love babies at the Gedalje Group.
I think it's
Bring 'em
great.
home.
Well, yeah, it's family, man.
Yeah.
And so that's the whole point. It's just like, it's family. You know, I called your wife just to say congratulations.
Yeah.
And if she's going to do an all-home natural birth, call my wife. She'll know everything about it. We had our son in a bathtub, basically, you know. So, I mean, we are all very tight. We're all very close.
That was really, really, really kind of you. That was super cool.
So just tell her I love her. I did not answer her phone on purpose.
I can't believe I'm having a son.
I can.
I can't believe I'm having a grandson.
Oh my God.
I'm so happy for you. I mean, Joe's got 2 boys,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, and I have 2 boys. And I mean, there's nothing. I mean, don't get me wrong, I have a daughter, but it's a stepdaughter. And so I've got a chance to kind of feel that daddy love because my wife's ex-husband and I are like best friends.
Yeah.
So he's like, love my daughter like I love her. I don't mind. And if you ground her, I'll ground her too, you know? So we've got a great relationship, but having boys are amazing. Moms and their boys though. Do you have any boys? Yeah. Moms and their boys, man. You just do me a favor. For about 8 years, just stay out of your wife's way. Whatever she wants with that boy, you just let her have him because he will get older and he'll start pulling towards dad. And then you're going to have to tell her, now it's my turn kind of thing. But it's true. But you can enjoy all.
We got a lot to sell here. It'll keep you busy.
Hey, wait, hold on. Can you wait about 4 years from now? No, man. We'll have him out and you know on the side. And look at my son, my oldest son, 16. He was out here, you know, working the yard during the summer, starting at the bottom.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to do the same thing with your son. I know.
I heard
you did.
I heard he benches more than me.
I don't know what he's doing right
think
now.
Brett
Joe, do
told
you know what
me.
he's benching? 185. He did 185 or something the other day.
Oh, okay.
You're above that. He's just under 200.
Okay.
Yeah, you're doing a couple plates.
Brett yesterday sent a video of Ryan benching 315 and sent it to me with some extra dialogue on there. I thought it was that Shane can bench more than me, but
I don't remember what it was. I think what it was is that you were sending me videos of you benching.
I put 250.
You're doing good. You're doing really
250.
good.
Thank you.
How do you feel?
I'm just trying to keep up with the Paradigm meatheads.
No,
Man, I'm just trying
you're gonna
to
have
keep
tattoos and big trucks to hang out with us.
Diesel.
But you got a big truck. Do you have a tattoo yet?
Diesel sent me no tattoos yet, but Diesel sent me a video of him deadlifting like 600 plus. So I'm not sending you guys videos anymore.
That's why he lost all his hair. He squeezed it so hard, hair fell out.
Ryan, pleasure, man. Thank
Love you
you
guys.
so much. We love you too.
Awesome.
And I just, like I said, I wouldn't invest anywhere else.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, we have more going. We'll just keep this circle tight, and we'll make it happen. Thank you guys for having us.
Paradigm,
Awesome.
baby. Desert Storm.
That's a start. Let's go.